If you are going to drop out halfway through or at any class, you're not going to benefit because you will lose connection. So prepare yourself. And second thing is, there'll be a lot of intermediate classes to drive the learning of each of these classes. And that will be conducted by Mr. Suresh Ramaratna. Since I have other engagements on the way, I might not be able to conduct all those classes, but all the main classes, which will be at least once in 15 days, I will be conducting myself. The intermediate classes where he will be expanding on the concepts will be conducted by Mr. Suresh Ramaratnam, but the material, including the slide deck, the text, the content, the structure, everything will be provided by me to him. He will only be delivering it. I will be available on WhatsApp. So if any one of you wants any sort of an elaboration or clarification on any point, you are most welcome to contact me. With these few words, I will move on to the session today. Any questions in this? One more request I have. I will be posting every day some case study or some concept in the free entrepreneurship mentorship group. Please try to reply them. Why I am saying is because many of these you might know partly, you might not know, you might not have heard about it at all. It might be a bouncer which goes over the head, but doesn't matter. If you search for it, maybe in some publication, maybe in some journal of the cognitive science, maybe in Google, maybe in any AI platform, you will definitely get some answer. And then you can go and cross-check, verify that answer, do the fact check, and find out if that answer is right. And that is how learning takes place. I am not a great fan of extrinsic teaching, in the sense that I don't believe in standing at the head of the class and giving lectures or passing on information and then at a prescribed time ask you to reply to the questions which I ask. And then you regurgitate whatever you have learned, and then that is what usually is called knowledge, but that is not knowledge because you cannot apply it. It only shows your ability to retain and recall information, but not apply it. But when in this intrinsic method of learning, where you go and search for the answer, do the fact checking, cross-check the validity of that answer, then you really learn and you will be able to apply it. That is the reason why I'm requesting all of you with folded hands, kindly participate in the group. You will benefit a lot. And then as you move forward, you will realize the type of rewiring which will take place in your mind, which will take you to a position where you will be able to inspire and engage anyone and everyone around you, be it in the office, at home, or in your social circle. So let's start today's program. I'm going to show you a video, and I want you to tell me what it is you see and what you understand from this video. Do you want to see it again?
Yes, sir.
So what do you understand from this video? What did you see?
The gentleman fell down into the drainage.
Manhole.
Okay.
Manhole.
With the folded eyes, closed eyes.
The civic department didn't do its work properly.
Okay.
Yes,
The-
he has
if we-
mistakenly fallen into that ditch.
If we know something prior to this, there is a dig, so we cannot fall.
Accident can happen.
Absolutely right, Mathur sir. Absolutely right.
Thank you.
This man died because he did not know that there was an open drain there. You can go and complain to the civil department, blame civil department, blame everyone under the sun. But this man's life is not going to come back. And the civil department is not responsible for you walking around with your eyes closed. You can blame them as much as you want, which is what most of us do. But do you realize? This is the cost of ignorance. Ignorance can kill, and it is your responsibility to be informed. It's absolutely your responsibility to be informed. And this is the reason why 85% of employees in the world are not engaged in the workplace. Because as leaders, as responsible citizens, as entrepreneurs, as drivers of the industry, we are ignorant about human needs, fundamental needs, and motivational principles that drive people. We open a company, take people, and then systematically ruin their life and ruin yourself. Just imagine, 85% of the employees in this world are not engaged. What does that mean? At this moment, there are approximately 34 people, including me, and that is 33 people in this platform. 85% are not engaged in your workplace or in whatever you are doing. Which 85? I don't know. But that's the fact. That means what? You're not giving your best. You're going to the office or to the workplace just because you have to, and there's a paycheck at the end of the month. Outcome, your life is miserable. You're not enjoying what you're doing. Result, your family's life is miserable. Your children's life is miserable. Everybody's life is miserable. All because you are ignorant of the principles which drive human beings. Now let's see one more beautiful thing. What do you see here?
You do net.
Any checkers?
A table covered with a sari.
Tablecloth covering a table.
Okay. Just a tablecloth?
Yeah.
The
The
cloth is
It's a translucent
look-
table in the table.
Yes,
Cloth
Dibakshi
like
says
a-
it's translucent.
cloth is covering the legs of the table.
Okay, cloth is covering the legs of the table.
Yes.
What about the aesthetics? How beautiful it is. How beautifully it is woven. Is that not visible?
Yeah.
The embroidery. Imagine how gorgeous it looks. A beautiful piece of embroidery cloth draws its charm from the intricate weaving of threads in varied colors and textures. Isn't that so? Huh?
Yeah.
An intricate weaving, isn't it?
Yeah, even the texture of the
It
cloth.
is.
Beautiful texture, beautiful colors.
Yeah.
Makes it look
Absolutely.
so gorgeous. Just imagine if someone were wearing it, how it would look. If we were to view this cloth symbolically as being engagement, then the threads woven into it would represent the universal needs, the fundamental needs, and the motivations. Isn't it? Supposing the universal needs of a human being, the fundamental needs of the human being, and the motivations of a human being were converted into threads and they were woven into this intricate design, this creation called a gorgeous piece of garment, then that would be engagement. The question comes, by simply possessing the cloth or the idea of engagement, is it enough to inspire people? No.
No.
The true beauty emerges when these threads are skillfully woven together on the loom of context. The context is very important. Imagine you wear a beautiful, gorgeous wedding attire to a funeral. How will it look?
Absolutely out of place.
So context is very important. Very, very important. So the threads of universal needs, the fundamental needs and the motivation, woven together on the loom of context, is what is necessary. It is your ability to understand these underlying principles and to weave them thoughtfully and intentionally that determines whether the final fabric inspires connection, trust, and in the process, meaningful engagement. So friends, this long program on engagement, I would not call it employee engagement because employment is just one aspect of life. Engagement touches every aspect of life, be it professional, domestic, or social. And the principles are the same everywhere. Mankind developed certain universal needs from the environment and situation he found himself in the prehistoric times and kept on passing those memories and those conditionings through his genes right down to the current time. Today, we don't call them universal needs, we call them fundamental needs. Because these universal needs have taken the shape of a fundamental need today. For instance, one of the most important needs of the prehistoric time was that they all lived in groups. Can anyone of you tell me why they lived in groups?
Number one is for security.
Security.
And
That's the
belonging.
only thing for survival. You had to survive, you had to be in groups, you had to help each other, support each other. And what is the fundamental need which it has translated into today?
Society.
How has that living in groups translated into a fundamental need today?
Of belonging to a group, probably.
Correct. Belonging.
Sense of belonging, yeah.
Sense of belonging. That is the reason, why, people are so attracted to social media and other platforms, Lions Club, Rotary. This is all the sense of belonging driving you, living in groups, driving you to find company among people. And then, when these fundamental needs and these universal needs are impacted, your drive to do something or not do something is triggered. That is what is motivation. Just a minute. Sorry. So now let us start by understanding the universal needs, how they came about, what created them in human beings, and how they have translated into fundamental needs. The three elements that characterize human life are, number one, they always lived in groups. The second is social units always had a hierarchy. Every group or social unit always had a hierarchy, and it always will. The hierarchy determines the unequal allocation of power, decision-making, and influence in the group, whether formal or informal. It doesn't matter whether it is formal or informal. It could be a government office, it could be army, it could be religion, it could be anything, but there will always be a hierarchy. Like, even in Hindu religion, surprisingly, there is a hierarchy among the gods. Can you tell me how it is?
So like Lord Shiva,
Vishnu,
Vishnu,
Shiva, and Mandan. Brahma.
Brahma. You see,
Yeah.
Lord Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma are called the Trinity who maintain equal status. But even within them, there is a hierarchy.
Shiva
Shaivites say that Shiva is the supreme. Vaishnavites say that Vishnu is the supreme. And since there is no Brahmite, so Brahma is always subordinate to both these people. And finally, humans always had a symbolic universe that enabled them to make sense. This question, why am I here? What all this is about, this desire to understand, to create a question, has always created a meaning, has always been the foundation of civilization. And humans are the only people who have a civilization with a system of meaning, a symbolic universe that enables individuals to make sense of the world that they live in. Now, these three core principles are supported by 7 more principles. What are they? The need for autonomy. Early humans had to make independent decisions for survival. There was no one to make those decisions for them. When to hunt, where to hide, whom you can trust to take with you on a hunt. These were very deep needs which were present during those times. And so they created a new need called autonomy, that is self-direction. You direct yourself. The second is competence. What is competence? Mastery or achievement, mastery over tools, mastery over hunting techniques, or mastery in reading the terrain. These increase the chances of survival. And subsequently, and because of that, it increased your status in the tribe. If you know how to read a terrain, you will be able to tell whether a predator animal has gone through this recently, how careful you have to be. You are able to understand whether some fruits will be available, vegetables will be available, edible plants will be available. So you see, it enhanced your status in the tribe that you are in. That led to the need for competence. The first was need for autonomy, self-direction. The second is need for competence. This is a very important universal need. The third is the need for relatedness, connection and love. Humans survive through cooperation, attachment, mutual care. Especially, at that time, the average age of a human being was very less. By some calculations, it is put at 7.8 years. Even though, those who survived that, maybe reached to a very good ripe age of 40, 45. But then 7.58 years is the average lifespan of a human being in the prehistoric era. That's what anthropologists say. So you see, the need for relatedness is a very, very important universal need. Then comes the need for security. What do we mean for the need for security? The need for security does not necessarily mean only physical. Threats from predators or rival tribes made safety a primary concern. But at the same time, it was also necessary to feel valued by your, tribe members, cared for by your tribe members, because that meant you could stay on in the tribe and protect yourself. If you are not valued, then what happens to you? If they don't care for you, what happens to you? Supposing you get hurt, they might leave you and go away. So you see, this need for security was very, very important universal need, which developed at that time. Then came the need for fairness and justice. Even early human groups punished freeloaders and rewarded cooperation and contribution. Cooperation and contribution was highly rewarded. Freeloaders were punished, cheaters were punished, and it was very severe because every act was a survival act. That is the reason why they say, that justice should not just be done, it should be seen to have been done. Because your doing justice is visible to the tribe members, and by that only they assess you as a leader. Then comes the need for identity and self-worth. Roles and recognitions in a tribe were conferred, survival advantages and reproductive success. At that time, this institution of marriage was not there. So everyone was game for everyone. And that is the reason, why the most powerful, the person who is more valued, had the highest chance of getting as many mates as he wants. That led to a need for identity and self-worth. If you could establish an identity for yourself, if you could prove yourself to be a worthy individual, you had everything that you wanted. And finally, the need for novelty and exploration. Exploration of new lands, tools led to innovation and advantage. The more adventurous you are, the more you are respected, because you could lead the tribe into new places. Because if the tribe stays on in a particular place for a long time, it becomes easy meat for the predators, and the vegetarian food will keep going down. Plants and fruits and vegetables will keep reducing that. So they had to keep moving, and that brought about a very serious need for novelty and exploration. So in addition to the first three, these 7 were very important universal needs. So how did the core needs translate into fundamental needs? Always lived in groups translated the need to get along with others. Because if you are always living in groups, you had to get along with people. Otherwise, it would not work. Kindly mute your audios, please. Please, everyone mute your audio. Background noise will disturb the program. Please. So the universal need of belonging to groups, always living in groups, translated to the need to get along with others. The social units always had a hierarchy, translated the need to get ahead of others. Now you know where your competitive spirit is coming. When there is a hierarchy, obviously, you have to get ahead of others, otherwise you can't reach the top. So this competitive spirit in you is a genetic trait which has flowed down right from the most early prehistoric time. So if someone is very competitive, it only means that the transfer of genes, the genetic trait in him, is very, very strong. The need to get ahead of others, constantly compete with others and move ahead. The third, the symbolic universe that enabled them to make sense, translated the need to find and impose meaning on everything. If you are not interested in learning, it only means that this particular trait is very, very poorly transferred down genetically into you. The more the need to find meaning is transferred, the more will be the drive within you to learn. The more you participate in these groups, the more I will understand that you have inherited this trait, of creating a symbolic universe from your ancestors. And how have the other secondary universal needs transferred, and what do they correspond to? The first one, the need for autonomy. They had to make, these early humans had to make independent decisions for survival, like when to hunt, where to hide, whom to trust, what plant they can eat, what berries will be safe for them. All these decisions they have to take themselves. And what does this translate into today? Can anyone of you tell me? Because your ability to understand what this means as a fundamental need will only help you to identify what your subordinates, peers, and superiors want.
Authority or freedom to decide.
Recognition.
No, it is as Mr. Jayesh said, today we deeply value freedom of choice, the freedom to control our lives, whether in families or workplace. People resist being micromanaged.
Empowerment.
Isn't that so? We will be discussing this in much greater degree when we discuss the self-determination theory of Deci and Ryan, one of the most accepted modern motivation theories today. But this autonomy is what is today reflecting as freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of control. Even see, all these freedoms and other things, the Constitution which is written is based upon universal needs. If you go through that, you will know what our forefathers really understood about it. That brings us to the next one. Freedom of privacy is a reflection of autonomy. Freedom of choice, control. This is how autonomy has translated into as a fundamental need today. Privacy means what? You decide what the world should know about you. You decide what the world can use about you, the information which they have, how much they can use, what they can use. Now we come to the need for competence. How is it reflecting today? The need for competence, mastery over tools, hunting techniques, terrains.
Recognition. Recognition.
No.
Winning attitude, win lose.
Ability.
No. The need to feel effective. The need to feel skilled. The need to feel capable. Do you realize it is all? What does it do? It makes you confident. You are in a group of people. If you feel you don't know as much as the group knows, what happens to you? You don't feel confident. You go into a shell. A project is there. You are a part of the project. If you don't feel that you are capable, you are skilled, and you can be effective with your ideas, do you contribute in the discussions? So when you find someone in a meeting pulling back and not willing to talk, what does it mean? If I ask a question, people are hesitant to answer, what does it mean? It means you are not confident that you know what you are talking. Your need for competence is being questioned here. You are scared that if I give the wrong answer, what will people think about me? The need for competence is being challenged. Mastery and achievement is being challenged. But a person comes out and speaks. He may be right, he may be wrong. That's a different issue. With context, with time, things change. What I knew, like for instance, let me ask a simple question. All of you have a family doctor, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
What is the age of your family doctor?
70.
70. Who said 70?
Myself, Karpsong.
Okay, you said 70. Excellent. When did this person pass his MBBS?
Most probably 45 years back.
45 years back, what are the antibiotics he was using and what is he using today? Just imagine, 45 years back, his teacher taught him sulfaguanidine is very good antibiotic. Try using sulfaguanidine on the people today. If he were holding on to that, what will happen? Will he be able to treat any patient today? Will anyone go to him? That means what? The need for competence, what has it done?
He has to be
It has
updated.
forced him
Upgrade.
to constantly upgrade, learn, and then he uses it, he sees the result, again refines the treatment, learns from that. This is a constant cycle. This need for competence is another very important need, which forces you, it will force you to keep updating yourself. Are you getting it?
Continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement. This is how these universal needs translate into fundamental needs, and these fundamental needs rule your life. Feel effective, skilled, and capable. The third, relatedness and connection. Humans survived through cooperation, attachment, mutual care. Now this has become the modern need for belonging, affection, intimacy, emotional support at home and at work. Maslow emphasized this in his hierarchy under love and belonging. It's a very, very important need. Belonging, affection, intimacy, support. This is how this sense of relatedness, this universal need of relatedness is transferred today into a fundamental need. Now this security is a very, very important need. Physical and emotional, psychological safety. And what has this translated into today? Can any one of you tell me? How has the universal need of security, physical and psychological,
Recognition by the peers.
huh?
Recognition by the peers.
The group.
Job security,
Job security.
And
emotional security,
social
financial
security.
stability, predictability in behavior. Do you like an unpredictable boss? Why you don't like an unpredictable boss? You would like to know how your boss will respond to whatever you do, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You would like to know how your wife will respond to whatever you say, or how the husband will respond to whatever the wife says. Children would like to know how the parents will really respond to what they have done, when they will punish, when they will appreciate. This predictability is a major fundamental need. If you are unpredictable, it does not matter how you are, but whatever you are, you should be predictable and consistent. That will give security. People always think, that being nice is what gives security. No, it's not being nice. It's being predictable which gives emotional security. Job security, financial stability, and predictability are very, very important fundamental needs that are there today, which have come from the physical and psychological security universal need of the prehistoric times. Then fairness and justice. From early humans, groups punished freeloaders and rewarded cooperation and contribution. Because fairness promoted cohesion and survival. As long as the group knew what will get punished, what will get rewarded, they would stay within the boundaries. And that is what is meant by equity in treatment today. We say, that man is very partial. The biggest fight between siblings is, my parents are partial to my brother. My parents are partial to my sister. I am not taken care of. They always do partiality. This is all coming from the universal need of fairness and justice. It is not coming from belonging. It is not coming from love. It is not coming from relatedness. That is where the mistake is. It is all coming from a deep-seated need for equity in treatment, reward, and social systems. Perceived unfairness leads to disengagement and conflict, be it workplace politics, societal unrest, or family disturbances. All these things come from fairness and justice. If there is incoherence in your house, if there is clash, then please understand that somewhere the universal need of fairness and justice has been attacked. The need for novelty, and that is a deep-seated need for equity. Then the need for novelty, identity, and self-worth. What does it mean?
Recognition.
Recognition.
Again, imagine identity and self-worth comes from what?
Commitment.
The roles.
Response. Roles.
What is it you are in a tribe?
Designations.
Yes, recognition is the universal need. What is the fundamental need?
Designation is saying designation.
Designation.
Status, roles, uniqueness to define who we are. These are what they have translated into as status, roles, and uniqueness in fundamental needs. Identity and self-worth. How well do you see yourself? What do you see yourself as? Because what you see yourself as will only get you everything that you want. Just imagine, you are the king. So what happens? You see yourself as a potential king. You will claim the best woman in the tribe. You will claim the best portion of the food. You will claim the most secure places to sleep in the night. You will claim the place nearest to the fire to keep yourself warm. The courage to claim all these things will come from what? The identity that you have within yourself and the self-worth that you have developed about yourself, isn't it? Please remember one thing. In those olden days, there was no appointment letter or no designation or no group of people who gave all these things to you. You had to develop those things yourself. Now the final one is the need for novelty and exploration. Curiosity and intellectual stimulation is what this translated into. All the researchers, all the people who have found out things, who have created these theories, who have propounded concepts, who have been able to enrich us in our life with their inventions, discoveries, are all people with a very, very, very strong translation of these universal need of novelty and exploration down as intellectual stimulation, learning, growth. The more you have the desire to explore, the more you will explore intellectually, the more you will be curious. These are the people who really impart the knowledge to us. Friends, from observation to suspicion, that is how it moved. As societies evolved, philosophers and religious thinkers began to interpret human behavior through moral, emotional, and spiritual lens. These are just lenses. They may not be really true. They observe that not everyone responds the same way to the same need. Some people pursue meaning over survival. Some deny physical needs for values like, monks, the priests, the soldiers, the martyrs, the revolutionaries. For them, the symbolic meaning was more important than their safety. This led to a very early suspicion among thinkers and philosophers that there are internal drives, not just needs, that shape how and why people act. Why people act the way they do. And this suspicion was the cradle of motivational thought. It all began in 1911 in modern times, but who you see here are Plato, and Aristotle. The first philosopher to hint at the concept of motivation, not in modern physiological sense, psychological sense, but in terms of internal drivers of behavior, is often conferred to Plato. He found that there are three parts to the human soul. That means a man is pulled in three different directions: logos, reason; thymos, spirit; and eros, appetite and desire. And that is where the history of motivation began. But in modern science, the first person to talk about it was Taylor. I'm sure you must have heard about Taylorism, which was promoted in 1911. We will discuss all those later on. But before we move forward, because we are going to move into a very, very crucial and critical subject called motivation, and since this is a program on engagement, we need to understand which is more important, motivation or engagement, which is better. And that is going to depend upon your understanding of motivation or engagement. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Are you with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sir, engaged.
Any questions? Or am I missing you all somewhere? Are you with me? Give a thumbs up. And most of you have already switched off your videos. So tell me, which is more important, motivation or engagement?
Engagement.
Motivation.
Engagement.
We are going 1-1.
Engagement.
Sir, engagement, sir.
Why is it because this program is on engagement? You are saying engagement?
Motivation.
How do you know the difference between motivation and
Engagement
engagement?
leads to motivation.
Yes.
Engagement comes first, motivation.
Okay, so we have got all spectrum of thoughts. Very good. Let us understand motivation and engagement in a very relatable way without any scientific explanation.
Passion leads to enjoyment, and then followed by that, you get the commitment and engagement.
Okay. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you.
What do you see here?
Carrot
Carrot and the stick story.
Carrot and stick. Everyone knows that. The traditional way motivation is explained, isn't it?
Yes.
A carrot symbolizes the positives that you will get if you do something. The stick represents the punishment you will get for not doing what is expected. In other words, motivation can be both positive and negative. Correct?
Correct.
Now let's go to the next picture. Engagement, engagement, engagement. When we hear the word engagement, what do we remember? You comes to your mind? A party where a boy and a girl, where a boy and a girl decide to ruin each other's life.
That is engagement.
This picture of an engagement ceremony. Who knows? Maybe the term engagement was taken from this ritual. What does it signify?
Both the
How is it
persons,
different from the first picture?
both the persons get engaged to work. sir.
So how is it different from the first picture?
It
Love,
is thrust. Actually, it is
affection.
thrust.
Moral
Huh?
sentiment
It
is
is
there.
like it is like an instruction from in the first slide. So, or
So
it
can
is
you
a,
explain engagement and motivation with this two pictures?
Yes.
I think engagement is a commitment.
Engagement is a commitment,
Engagement is a commitment, correct.
and motivation is
Mutual,
external reward for
whereas-
doing something. Here they are forming a family, and that promises or that commitment is initiation of the engagement. Or engagement is initiation of that future.
Engagement is mutual and reciprocal. where each one takes care of the other needs. So it cannot be one-sided.
Emotional bonds are emotional bonds.
In motivation, only one person is in a higher level, sir. The other one is in learning process. In engagement, both are traveling in the same level.
Motivation can be extrinsic mostly, but engagement is intrinsic.
Okay, now explain to me the same thing. Now you have said all these things, you are all right. That is the beauty of this universe. No one is wrong. Explain to me from the angle of a relationship between an employee and an employer. Motivation and engagement.
Motivation is given, engagement is actually give and take. It's like both the people are involved and both of them benefit out of it.
Motivation?
Motivation
tell
is
me
provided
again?
by the
Motivation
What do
is
you meant?
one side of it, it is given.
Okay.
motivation is provided by the system or the department or the boss or the colleagues, and engagement is what you get involved, and then it reinforces, like motivation comes again and then engagement increases.
Supposing I were to ask you whether you are motivated or engaged, what will you answer?
Engage, it brings motivation into a positive note, sir. When you are getting engaged, motivation becomes a success.
Initially
Motivation leads to
motivated to
engagement.
understand, then we got engaged.
When I get engaged, then I'm motivated to do that.
I feel that actually lead to motivation.
Okay, when we attend your session, we are engaged in the session. And after the session, when we do something, that is motivation.
Yeah.
Can I come, sir?
नहीं गोस्वामी सर आप बिल्कुल
Develop
मत
the sense
बोलिएगा.
of ownership.
Mr.
When
Goswami,
we
you know,
develop a
when
sense
you
of
attended
ownership
any
and
of
do
this program of
something
mine, please don't say
that is
anything.
engagement. When we do something for the purpose of reward, that is motivation.
Okay, now I will give you a situation. Okay, to help you clearly understand. Very, very clearly, without an iota of doubt, you will understand the difference between motivation and engagement. This understanding is very, very essential, because this is where the crux of engagement lies. I'm giving you a situation. What do you see here?
A storm.
Cruise.
You see a ship has caught fire, right? And you see next to it a lifeboat. Am I correct or wrong?
Yes.
Now the ship contains hundreds of people, but the lifeboat can contain only 20, 30 or 40 maybe. Let us assume you are going in this ship. The ship catches fire. What will you do? There is a lifeboat which can catch, maybe we can hold 20, 30 people. What will you do?
Be the first one to jump on the boat.
So come what may, kill, rob, steal, induce, do whatever, but you want to get onto the boat first. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
If you are traveling alone, but if you are
Mr.
traveling along
Suresh,
with
please
your
keep
family,
quiet. Mr. Suresh, please keep quiet. You have attended this program earlier also. Don't disturb others. Yes, tell me. I'm sorry, friends. Sometimes it is necessary. Mr. Suresh, you heard me telling Mr. Goswami not to talk in this exercise. That's because he has also attended this program, when the program earlier. Let others learn. Yeah, tell me. So you see, what is the reason you will jump onto the boat?
Survive, save life.
There is a strong motivation to survive. Correct?
Survival.
Yes, sir. Survival. To save ourselves, yes.
Save. Will that go away? No. But just imagine, you are in the same boat. The boat ship has caught fire. There is a lifeboat. It will again hold only the 20 or 40 people like the same condition. But now you are accompanied with your family. What will you do?
Family comes first.
Why?
You'll
Now suddenly what happened to that motivation?
Ownership. Dependencies.
So you
Children,
see, things
child.
have changed drastically, isn't it?
Yes.
If you are alone, you will kill anyone to get onto that boat. When you are with your family, you will kill anyone to put your family on the boat first.
Okay.
This is the difference between engagement and motivation. There are many psychological reasons for it. We will see all those reasons afterwards. But first, let us understand. Motivation, the employees drive to succeed and do outstanding work to benefit him. That is where the crux of motivation lies. When it is to benefit him and him alone, it is motivation. But when the employee's voluntary emotional commitment for the organization's success is involved, overriding his personal benefit, that is when we come to engagement. This is the reason, why a motivated employee is very dangerous. An engaged employee is most welcome. Why? A motivated employee at a senior level, he leaves the company and goes. What happens?
He looks for his own benefit always.
Not only that, he will take 20 other people along with him and go and create a big vacuum in the organization. This happens an obscene number of times in every company. But an engaged employee, first thing is he will not leave that easily. Second thing is, even if he leaves, he will leave still wanting for this company to do well. He will not wish harm to this company. And third thing is, he will constantly put the organization before self. This is the reason why Gallup found that only 15% of the employees the world over are engaged. 85% are not engaged. Remember one thing, that survey was not on motivation, it was on engagement. In fact, these 85% coming to the office for the paycheck, they are also motivated. Motivated by what? The paycheck at the end of the month, not the assignment which they are addressing and doing every day in the office.
Arun sir, that 85% is varies to the countries to country, or it is same?
What? Maybe a percent here, a percent there, it will be less or more.
Okay.
Right? 85% is 85%. Now, we are not talking about a small figure. Maybe in some context, in some industries, it could be 20% and 80%. In some, it might be 5% and 95%. See, to many who are conditioned to think in terms of motivation in the traditional way, all this might look like philosophizing, but the fact remains that many business owners and management, to their utter dismay and surprise, have found that motivation has a serious downside. Serious downside. In many cases, they end up demotivating people. In the name of motivating one, they end up demotivating people. Let me give you a simple example. What happens in a sales meeting? Somebody has achieved a fantastic figure he has posted. The management gives him 10,000 rupees check. There are 20 other salespeople there. You have motivated one person with 20,000 rupees check. What do you think will happen to the others?
They will become jealous.
What is that? Demotivating, isn't it?
They will be demotivated.
Huh?
Yes.
So you see, motivation has a severe downside, very severe downside. We will see. That is the reason, why we are going to be seeing 10 different motivational theories and concepts. Understand them, what it is. One of the workshops which I'm going to start now in another 5 minutes, we will see what it is. We will see what are the advantages of this strategy. We will see what are the cautions which have to be undertaken when executing it. We will see what are the disadvantages, and above all, we will see how, using the principle of fundamental and universal needs, we can change this strategy or modify it for long-term benefit. Okay? One small request. There are a few of you like Anil Goswami ji, Mathur, Suresh Ramaratnam, who have attended a different version of this program twice already. Am I right, Mathur sir? What, yes, Goswami sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, my simple request to you and to Suresh, please keep quiet.
Okay.
Resist that temptation.
Sure, sure,
answer.
sure.
This is not an examination. No one is giving you distinction marks for the right answer. The objective of my engaging people and asking questions is to make them think so that they will also get the learning. I know you know the answer because you already attended it 2-3 times. Suresh, how many times have you attended this program earlier? Okay. Let's continue. I'm sorry, Suresh, if I was a bit harsh in stopping you because I didn't want you to let the cat out of the bag. Please. Please,
No,
guys,
sir,
understand.
I will not.
Before 1943, it was the age of machines. I said Taylorism started in 1911. Frederick Taylor, the American mechanical engineer, published the book, The Principles of Scientific Management, focusing on simplifying job to increase efficiency. But that was in 1911, during the, Industrial Revolution. Before 1943, it was an age of machines. The world had seen 2 industrial revolutions. The focus was on totally machines only. Humans never featured in any of these things. And even if they featured, it was restricted to how to enhance the efficiency of production. Because you could sell as much as you produce. There was a huge demand for the product. It was a seller's market. It wasn't the buyer's market as it is today. The period from 1911 to 1985 was called the period of discovery because that is when things happened. Criticism of Taylor's management theory was that it treated workers like components, limit personal growth and creativity. But during the period 1911 to 1985, which is called the period of discovery, it was said that the researchers felt like blind men in a dark room searching for a black cat that was not there because so many new insights were coming out about motivation. So many new insights were coming out about human behavior. All the research focused on man and motivation. People were pulling in all directions, trying to explain the behavior of man as an individual and as a part of society. There was an avalanche of research on understanding what makes the most unpredictable animal called man tick. Because they are tremendously unpredictable. And one, as we have seen, one of the most important universal need, what is that? Security. How did that translate into a fundamental need in current period? Into predictability.
Right.
Now you see, people wanted others to be predictable. They wanted to know how a person will really react under certain situations. That is what drove all the research on human motivation. This period was called the period of discovery. Then came 2020, 1990, and one gentleman by the name research scientist called, behavioral research scientist called Khan, came up with the theory of engagement, which blew apart everything that had been discussed till then and started the universe of the debates and everything about engagement. That will be after we have understood the motivational theories, because there the link is there. Now we are going to start our first workshop. This is about a company called Delta Tech Solutions. It is a mid-sized IT services company with around 300 employees. The following are the excerpts from recent day happenings across different teams within the company. You have to observe and share your thoughts on what you observe. 4 instances we are discussing here. First is the curious case of Sanya. Sanya, a young developer, had been putting in extra hours to ensure all client deliverables were met ahead of time. On Friday afternoon, during a weekly team call, her manager Raj casually said, "By the way, Sanya, you have done a great job. The client was impressed. Take the afternoon off. You have earned it." The entire team smiled and Sanya logged off, visibly delighted. Over the next few weeks, she continued giving the extra mile even without being asked. This is one scenario which has happened in the company. The other scenario, the morning check-in. Ravi, a newly recruited analyst, had been missing key details in his reports. His team lead, Neelam, began checking in with him every morning to review the previous day's work. After 2 months of consistent improvement and accuracy, Neelam told Ravi, "You are doing great, Ravi. Let's move our check-ins to once a week now. I trust your process." Ravi felt a sense of relief and pride, and his performance stayed consistent. This is the second. In another corner of the company, this happened. During internal presentations, Varun from the design team often interrupted others mid-sentence with jokes and sarcastic comments. It had been affecting the flow and seriousness of meeting. Last week, his manager Nisha paused the meeting and said, "Varun, please step out and rejoin when you are ready to listen respectfully. We need full attention in these sessions." The room fell silent. Since then, Varun has been unusually quiet during the meetings. The fourth is the coffee room clown. Akhil is known as the office clown. He constantly makes jokes in the coffee room, pulls pranks, and gets loud laughter from his colleagues. Management has recently announced tighter deadlines and requested that teams minimize interruptions. Over the next week, Akhil's jokes were met with minimal response. Some colleagues smiled but didn't laugh or engage. By Friday, Akhil had stopped making jokes and started spending his breaks quietly scrolling through his phone. These are the 4 incidents which happened recently in Delta Tech. Do you think these things happen in companies?
Absolutely.
It happens.
Are there clowns who keep cracking jokes and disturbing everyone?
Yes, sir.
Are there team members who keep making sarcastic comments?
Yes, sir.
And smart ass comments?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Are there people who are a bit inefficient and sloppy, so require continuous checking?
Yes.
Yes.
Are there people who are very efficient and go that extra mile?
Yes.
So these are not things which are not happening in the office, right?
It happens.
Can you take a screenshot of this?
One minute, sir.
Now we go to the next one. Read all 4 situations carefully. Ask yourself, identify the management response and its impact on employee behavior. Then try to match each situation to the underlying behavioral mechanism. Number 1, what instant result did the action bring about? Number 2, what are the advantages of the action? Number 3, what are the disadvantages of the action? And number 4, what is a lasting? If you want to create a lasting impact, what should you do? Number 5, what is this solution theory called? What is it famous in the world of organizational behavior? This is a very, very, very famous theory, which even today drives human motivation and organizational behavior. What is it? There are 35 members here. I'm going to divide it into 3 teams. You will have 45 minutes each. Study the whole thing and then get back and answer these things. Do you want 45 minutes or lesser time will do?
Lesser time, 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Fine.
15-20 minutes should be good.
Minutes are
Okay.
good enough because we all have
30
read
minutes
the
we
game.
will give you.
30,
We are giving you
30.
30 minutes. Go ahead. Take a screenshot of this if you want. Then, we can have around 10 minutes of your briefing, and then we can have around 20-25 minutes. So in about an hour's time, we can close the session. I am opening the breakout room. I'm creating 3 rooms. Please move towards the rooms. It's 11:45 here. So I will close the rooms in 30 minutes. Please move towards your rooms. Thank you. Mr. Hitendra ji, are you not moving? Yogesh ji, move towards the room. Nitya, please move towards the room.
So just joined back again due to network issues, sir. I'm not able to look at the pop-up.
Just a minute. You want a room, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please
Anyone?
move.
Yes, I
Yogesh ji, move to the room.
Hi, sir. I was in room number 1. If you can just put me back. Sir, can you put me to the breakout room number 1 if I can join in again? Sorry, I'm not able to do it. I am again out of the room.
No issue.
Yeah, I'm back. No, yeah, maybe somebody else should take the lead. I have given my points.
Okay.
But am I back in the room? Yes.
Welcome back.
Everybody is back now.
योगेश जी अपना वीडियो तो ऑन करो. Okay. So how was the experience? Something very similar
nice.
to the what?
Great,
Great experience, sir.
Yeah, something
Great
very similar
experience,
to
sir.
what the yeah.
Very, we were able to sail through and all three of them. The fourth one was a little tricky. So
Which one? Where the
fourth
management says that no disturbance, and then
yes, but the clown.
The clown. Okay, good.
Even in the coffee room.
Now, see, these are all very usual things which happen in the office. If you want to convert the 85 into, bring down that figure, then you will have to understand all these things very well.
Yeah.
And this is a tested theory concept. We will be discussing that concept with the name of the scientist, the year when it was published. There are 10 such theories that we will be discussing, and then we will be finding the link between them and employee engagement and Kahn's 1990 research on employee engagement, and then take it forward to job crafting, task crafting, relational crafting, cognitive crafting. You see, the human mind is by far the most tricky thing in this world. But it can be controlled, it can be tuned, it can be pushed forward in the right direction. And even if you can get 1 or 2% improvement in the engagement level of your employees, I think you will be far ahead of the game when compared to others. Let's see. Okay, now, which team do you think we should begin with? Let's begin with team number 1. Yeah. 3 minutes per team.
Yes.
Who is going to present for team number 1? Yeah.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, sir.
Just a second. Okay, these are the 4 situations. First one was Sanya, where the extra effort. Now, what were the manager's action? Appreciation in public and reward. What are the advantages? It boosts the morale, sets an example, and reinforces a positive behavior among the employees. What are the risks or disadvantages? Burnout. And others also might have a similar expectations of a reward to be coming in future. What they should be cautious about is having an effective, transparent communication with clear guidelines in a transparent way. And what should be the long-term strategy? Fair and consistent recognition, encourage others to achieve, and have clear KPIs or the SMART objectives. Now, the next one is Ravi's case, daily check-ins, where initially the work is checked on a daily basis and then changed to a monthly basis. Close monitoring and coaching. What are the advantages? Improves the work quality, builds the confidence, and empowers the employee to carry out the regular duties with confidence. What are the disadvantages? Micromanagement, and no one would like to work with the sword hanging on the head, and a time pressure, closely monitored. And what they should be cautious about, person is too much dependent, too much interference. They don't have the autonomy to do by themselves. Long-term strategy, it's SOP is clearly established for clarity and periodic reviews. The third one is Varun, interruption, where he manages action, he takes immediate corrective action. The advantages, they set the acceptable behavior norms. Disadvantages, public embarrassment, make people with a defensive attitude. What should be cautious about? Critical of others in public. follow up in private, clear behavioral patterns and code of conduct for the long term. Now, Akhil, the clown, peers stop responding to him at a manager's action. It's not managers, actually the team. They stop responding. The advantages, less distractions and more focus. Disadvantages is reduce the morale, non-social behavior. What they should be cautious about, disruptive behavior and engaged employees. Now, what should be the long-term strategy? Preserve the team bonding and the workload balance and ensure that the employees get regular breaks in between so that the focus levels or the attention span remains higher. Okay, any of my team members, if you want to add anything, now is the time. Please go ahead.
Okay, could you find out the name of this theory?
Sorry?
Could you find out the name of this theory? What is this theory called? Okay, please unshare the screen. Let us move on to room number 2, please. Room number 2, who is going to share the screen? Yes, please, we can see the screen. What happened, Mr. Nageshwar Kumar?
Situation A.
Sorry, I was unmuted.
Oh, yeah.
Situation A, motivation individual, positive advantages is positive environment recognition. Disadvantages is demotivation to others and left out. Lasting is self-motivated. The solution theory, generic announcement, giving an example to Sanya, other people also be equally recognized and rewarded. But we didn't, we not known the exact theory, we put the comment over that. Then going to the situation B, it's the instant result is hand holding, engaged value, advantages, encouraged, guided properly. Disadvantages is micromanagement, lasting is sense of pride, relief, performance improved. So guided delegation may be the solution theory. Situation C, he corrected himself. Listening is very important, is the message in the advantage. Disadvantage is Varun contribution is stopped and demotivated and criticized in public. So Varun learned the lesson, that's a lasting. Situation D, we are in the office or focus is one of the instant result.
Okay. So let's move on to room number 3, please. Thank you, Kumarji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Room number 3.
Is there a
Yeah, what happened? Who is going to present on behalf of room number 3?
Muthukumar, you noted it, isn't it?
No, sir, I have not noted.
Okay, someone speak. We can't keep sitting here for you all to respond.
Yeah. Otherwise, Anilji, you present it, sir.
Please unmute yourself, Anil.
What's happening, friends? Have gone out to sleep. I don't think it's that late in India.
सुरेश साहब
अरे यार छोड़ो ना
आप
उनको, आप
कर
बोलो ना।
दीजिए आंटी।
15 मिनट तो
आप
हो
बोल
गया, हम
दीजिए।
लोग वेट कर रहे हैं, आप लोग बोलोगे।
सुरेश जी बोल दीजिए।
हाँ बोलिए। Is anyone going to speak or should we move on?
I think we move on. Nobody noted down. Nobody noted down.
No one has noted? Okay. Thank you, room number 3, for your engagement and participation. Excellent.
No, actually, sir, we have discussed it, but actually I am in the train, so I could not participate much.
No, but that's all okay. But somebody has to reply, na? We can't just keep sitting twiddling our thumbs here. There are 10 people in the room. You mean to tell me not a single one is there ready to share with the what has happened there?
Okay, if no one is taking initiation, I will start, sir.
Is this how you are running your team? I seriously want to know. This is a reflection of what's going on in your team.
Sir, I would just want to say.
Please do it. Whatever it is, let's be, let's share what we have discussed.
Yeah, sir.
Even if you
But
don't
like
want to share the screen, just speak.
Yeah, I will speak on that, sir.
Yeah,
maybe
please.
if something is not audible because on the train, you can please let me know.
No issue, no
Like
issue.
the
Please
first,
go ahead. It's audible.
the first case, like the Sania, the managers, casual recognition and appreciation, actually, it boosted the Sania's moral and motivation. And Sania continued to go an extra mile, indicating the recognition, appreciation that drive the employee behavior usually, sir. The impact was, it was significant on Sania's behavior. And even so, only thing is like, we discussed like that the day off given could be better way because it create a some negative impact also on other employees. So that could be taken. The lasting effect would be like, the follow up with the manager and set the expectation could lead to have a greater impact because there is only casual way. If you can give a better understanding, better feedback to Sania, that will, she can have a better understanding and communication between both. And then the second situation, like the new employee who joined, also that the lady, the manager who insisted Ravi for to improve his performance, that she given a good guidance and support, hand holding, and that it was, and also it helped the Ravi for his personal growth, understanding, development, and all. And after some improvement, she acknowledged that Ravi's improvement, which motivated the continuous coaching, bring a lot of significant improvement in his performance also. What could have been better? Like, there may be some issue in training or induction. So if proper induction with the proper SOP should be arranged by the company in a large organization, so every manager is not able to manage all the employees. If proper induction and proper SOP of training, everything is done rightly, this manager's time can be saved and employees can be better managed.
Yes.
So, and the third situation, like, that the deceptive behavior, by Varun, the her like his manager, Nisha, rightly addressed his behavior in and set a clear expectation for respectful participation. And after that, his things were better, things were more focused, employees were more focused and productive. Only thing is, after the meeting, Nisha should at least sit with Varun and discuss. We should two-way communication and make him understand that, in a meeting, what is the right SOP and what is the right guidelines to follow. so that Varun don't disengage with the company's meetings and everything. So that is what is there. And the fourth situation, like the coffee room clone, uh, they're also like it like it's a coffee room, so uh, some like I understand that there is a tight deadline for the company, so so the priorities were changing, but the address towards Akhil could lead to the behavior changes, and that could have handled in better way. So
Okay. First thing, Gopal, thank you. Even though you are in the train, you are very attentive and you have been able to go through the whole thing. I really appreciate the amount of effort you have taken. Thank you, Gopal. Now let's move. This is a very famous motivational theory. It's a foundational theory. It was among the first motivational theories which was propounded. It was driven by a desire to understand how and why people behave the way they do and what can be done to ensure that things are put in the right perspective. Let us understand this, what happened here, the action, and then I will take you to the theory itself and the other aspects of it. There are two aspects here. One is the driving force, the other is the restraining force. In one instance, a stimulus is added, and the other instance, the stimulus is removed. What is the driving force when a stimulus is added? What is the stimulus which was added? The positive reinforcement of Sanya. What happened? Unexpected praise and time of reinforced desirable behavior, going the extra mile. When an unexpected praise came from a boss, and she was given a reward in the form of a time off, it was reinforcement of a positive behavior of her extra involvement. This made her go the extra mile and continue involving herself. Now a stimulus was removed, which created a driving force. In the second case, Ravi, was the case of a negative reinforcement. What happened? The removal of daily check-in, an unpleasant oversight. You know, somebody keeps coming and checking what you are doing every day. It can be an unpleasant thing, and it hangs as a Damocles sword over your neck. When that was removed, it served as a reward for consistent performance. Why did his manager remove it? Because she found that his inaccuracies were increasing and there was improvement. So she told him that now onwards, I will not check on you daily, I will check on you weekly. And by doing that, what she did, she removed a negative reinforcement. And this acted as a driving force. It motivated him and he continued to perform. The first was a stimulus was added, a praise was given, and it resulted in continued performance. In the other one, a negativity was removed, and that added as a reinforcement for a positive behavior. Now we come to the third, in the case of Varun. Given a direct consequence of his negative behavior, Varun was a punishment. Given a direct consequence, being asked to step out for disrupting meeting. It is a clear-cut slap on the knuckles. A stimulus was added to restrain a behavior. If in the earlier case, a stimulus was added to speed up the behavior in the case of Sanya, here a stimulus was added to restrain a behavior. Asking him to step out and not come back till he learned how to focus on the meeting was a restraining act through an addition of a stimulus. The third is the removal of a stimulus for restraining a behavior, a kill, and this is called the extinction motivation. That is what happened when you ignore a particular behavior, it stops occurring again. The team stopped reacting to his jokes, removal of attention, leading to a decline in that behavior. If a child is keeping on crying and throwing tantrums, if you keep responding to it, it will continue. Simply ignore it. It will stop. When it sees that the desired response is not there, it will change its behavior. These are the four: positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement as a driving force, punishment and extinction as a restraining force. This is known very famously in behavioral science as the reinforcement theory of motivation. It is also called the theory of operant conditioning. This theory was first propounded by B.F. Skinner in 1938. He said, considering free will is an illusion. Skinner saw human action as dependent on consequences of previous action, a theory he would articulate as the principle of reinforcement in 1938. If the consequence to an action is bad, there is a high chance the action will not be repeated. If the consequences of the action are good, the probability of the action being repeated becomes stronger. B.F. Skinner was one of the most influential American psychologists, a behaviorist, and this theory of operant conditioning is what is the foundational theory of motivation. You can use this. I would only request you to go and read this theory, its application, the various case studies of this theory of B.F. Skinner, which he proposed in 1938. Work is continuing even now on it. And higher theories are being built on that. Please go and read it. Reinforcement theory of motivation says there are two forces, driving forces and restraining force. You can add a stimulus or withdraw a stimulus to drive this. First is the positive reinforcement, where you add a stimulus for a positive result. The second is negative reinforcement, where you take out a stimulus for a positive result. The third is you can punish the person. The fourth is ignore the person. When new behavior added positive consequences, when you add a particular behavior, you have a positive consequence, that is positive reinforcements. When new behaviors you remove, and then that is a positive consequence. The positive behavior, by removing a negative consequence, then that is negative reinforcement. Punishment, when new behaviors add negative consequence, and when new behaviors remove positive consequence, that is extinction. For instance, in the case of ignoring, what do? A person is cracking a joke, you simply don't respond to him. Ignore him. When you respond, there is a positive consequence. When you ignore, that positive consequence is removed. The person will stop cracking jokes. You can use this in your offices by understanding it well. What are the advantages of this theory? First thing is, it is very clear, simple, and actionable. It provides managers and leaders with straightforward techniques to encourage or discourage specific behavior. Do this, get that. Logic makes it very easy to implement. The logic here is very simple. You do this, you get this. Number two, the results are immediate. Reinforcements and consequences can lead to quick behavioral changes, but the question is, will they lead to lasting behavioral changes? We will see in the end how that has to be brought in. But for immediate behavioral change, you can do this. The third is, it's well suited for routine tasks, not for complex tasks. Works well in structured environment where behaviors are repetitive, outcomes are measurable. For instance, in sales calls, manufacturing, call centers, all these places, this will work very well. Finally, enables tracking and feedback loops, encourages managerial attentiveness. You have to be very attentive. You have to be very observant, and you should be able to give real-time feedback. So this works both ways. This reinforcement theory works both for the person who is using it as well as the person who is receiving it. Now, any questions here? Is it clear, Yogesh ji? I will request all of you, please go back when you get the time. Read B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning theory, the reinforcement theory. There are reams and reams and reams and reams of research paper on it. You can read, go through various case studies. What are the researches which have been done on it? What have been the outcomes? What is the inferences of it? Understand it, because this is how you control people in your office. This is how you increase engagement. This is one of the 10 theories that we are going to be discussing. After that, there are 9 more theories which we'll be discussing with case studies in every class. In this class, we spent 1 hour earlier in the introduction, but from next class, you will get a lot of time to go through it. Now you know what are the questions I will be asking. Very simple. What is the immediate result? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? What you need to be cautious about? How to bring about long-term effectiveness of by using this theory, and what is the name of the theory. So if you prepare well now itself, go through all the theories, then your future workshops will become much more interesting and much more valuable to you. Let's move on to the next part of it. What are the disadvantages of reinforcement theory? Number one, the biggest disadvantage is it is very short-term in nature. It addresses the external behavior, not internal attitudes or values. Once a reward or punishment is removed, behavior might relapse. There is this serious possibility. Number two, may create dependency. That means people may start looking forward to rewards. People may begin to expect a reward every time they perform well. What's in it for me trigger is very, very high. And this will, undermine intrinsic motivation. Those people who believe in intrinsic motivation, who work because of intrinsic motivation, the highly engaged people, when they see this, it might trigger a certain degree of disappointment in them. Number three, inflexible in complex situations, doesn't consider emotional beliefs and interpersonal dynamics or personal meaning. All essential in human behavior. It is all very superficial. So you have to be very careful where you use it, with whom you use it, with what level of people you are using it. What is the intellectual capacity of the person you are using it with? What are his emotional conditions? What are his beliefs and value systems? And finally, there is a problem of one-size-fits-all fallacy. One size does not fit everyone. The same thing does not work everywhere. It was highly possible that Sanya might have turned around and said, "It's okay, sir. I'm perfectly all right. I don't need to take the afternoon off." Then the person would have looked very bad. In the other case, when she says that I will be checking up once in a week, let's stop checking every day, it could have a negative consequence also. The person may think, you still don't believe me, you still don't trust me. That can have a negative consequence. And the third thing is, the people who are around him, they might ridicule him. Arey yaar, bach gaya ab tum. So you see, these are all negative consequences. So a one-size-fits-all fallacy, one has to be very careful about. You should not assume that all people respond similarly to the same reinforcement. Not true in diverse, emotionally complex teams. So you need to know the person very well before dishing out your rewards as per operant conditioning theory or the reinforcement theory. What to be careful of when implementing? Number one, there are 4 things. Overusing rewards. Rewards must not become expected or transactional. Surprise and sincerity matter more than repetition. Be sincere with your rewards. Don't use it as a strategy. Use it as off-the-cuff motivation technique. Relying solely on external triggers, overemphasis on instinctive motivation can reduce intrinsic creativity and ownership. This is another thing you need to be very careful about when you are implementing it. In other words, all these things are pointing towards one thing only. You have to know the person well. What is the profile of the universal needs this person has got? How are they reflecting as fundamental needs in the workplace? Knowing these is very important. That means you have to be very well tuned into your teammates, superiors, or subordinates' behavioral matrix. Ignoring emotional context, reinforcement in a vacuum without understanding the emotional state or relationship can appear manipulative. There is a very strong chance that the person might think that you are trying to manipulate them. And above all, a lack of consistency in your behavior. If you are going to be doing this with one person, you have to be doing it with others also at the appropriate time. Inconsistent reinforcement regarding rewarding someone, ignoring others may lead to perceptions of bias or favoritism. This is very, very important. You have to be careful about it. What to do differently? Number one, link behavior to purpose and value. Go beyond do this, get that. Instead, connect behavior to team vision, purpose, or personal gain. What you can do? You can say that your attention to detail isn't about reports. It reflects the trust we build with our clients. Like, in the case of Sanya. You can tell that your attention to detail isn't just about the reports that you created. It reflects the trust you have helped us build with our clients. So I think, I need to reward you. Take the day off, maybe spend with your family. Are you understanding what I'm telling? Go the extra mile and link the fundamental need and the universal need with what you are doing. Instead of just telling, you have done a great job, the client is very happy, take the day off. Instead of saying that, take it a step further. Tell them that what you have done has helped build greater trust with our client. It's not just about the report that you have submitted or the amount of work you have done to generate that report. It's about how you have helped us develop better trust. And I think that requires a reward. Why don't you just take the day off? Go spend with your family, with your children, with your husband. It will make me also feel that I have been able to contribute something to your personal well-being. When you bring in that personal thing, generate that sense of belonging, generate that, net safety net, that security under her, create a better self-worth for that person. It works much better. The second, use intrinsic motivation triggers. Tap into autonomy, mastery, and purpose. This is what the self-determination theory of Deci and Ryan is, which we will be discussing later on. Ask the question, what drives this person naturally? Why is this person putting in this extra effort? What are the intrinsic motivation triggers? Autonomy, mastery, purpose. What is it which is driving this person? And then, you can bring that and link it to the discussion. The third, promote self-awareness, not just compliance. Encourage reflection. You could even go ahead and ask the person, what happened? How could you stay focused this week? What is it that made you feel that going this extra mile will get us this extra trust from our client? When you do that, you help the person to go within and try to find out why she did what she did. then that isn't compliance of an order anymore. It becomes a personal quest, a self-awareness quest. This helps build internal regulation, not just external reaction. And engagement is all about building internal regulation. When the person knows the reason why the person is doing something, the person is more internally regulated, and that helps you find out and dish out the, whatever reward that you are giving. The same thing, I'm using one Sanya here to explain how the discussion can move forward. Maybe as an exercise, you can do it for the other three. Maybe, in the case where the lady told, I think it was Nisha, someone who told that person to go out and wait outside and come back after he has understood that he has to be serious. Maybe she could have added this one question along with it. As you are waiting outside, to realize the importance of this meeting so that you can come and join us back, maybe you could ask yourself, what makes you behave like this? Why do you need to be sarcastic? Why do you need to crack jokes when everyone is serious? This one question, maybe you can stand outside. That brings in a sense of self-regulation. And that can bring in a lasting change in that person. Maybe standing outside, he might ask himself seriously this question: why do I joke like this? Why do you think the person jokes like that? Is it because he thinks that others are all not as intelligent as him? Or is it because he thinks his boss is not as intelligent as him? Or he thinks that the situation does not warrant the seriousness it warrants? Is it not necessary for him to introspect so that he will be able to find out what he has to do correctly? When he stands there and introspects on it, what happens? There's high possibility that he might understand where he has made a mistake. And when he comes back in, she could always seal off the whole thing by saying, thank you for coming back. We need you. We need you with the answers to the question you asked outside. And the change in behavior, which will help us all. Something like that, maybe patting in the back will ensure that the changes is lasting. He knows that his game is caught and that it will not work. In the case of the fourth case where they ignored him totally, maybe after everything is over, the manager could have stopped him and said, do you realize how it feels when people don't respond to you because they are being serious? Was really a directive from the company necessary for you to change yourself like this? Ask yourself today, maybe tomorrow, you can come and we will discuss about it. Go straight to the crux of the issue, because the universal need and the fundamental need are something which is very personal to each individual. But all these four are very powerful techniques, very, very, very powerful techniques. And if you can link it to fundamental and universal needs, then as a motivational strategy, it can work wonders for you. Then that brings us to build relationship, not just control. People change more substantially when they feel valued, trusted, and connected, not just rewarded or punished. And that is what will happen. How will you build a relationship, just not control? When you give the right to change to the inner regulation of the individual and make them think. When you connect with their universal and fundamental needs. When you help them see why they are behaving the way they are behaving and what is the downside of it, you will be able to build relationships and not just control systems. And finally, create a feedback-rich culture. Make feedback regular, authentic, and two-way. Employees should know how they are doing and why it matters. If you can do these 5 things, In using B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning theory, the reinforcement theory, you will get fantastic results. This is just one of the theories. The other 9 theories that we are going to be discussing are going to be very different from this. But all of them together, it is like a kaleidoscope, it's like a puzzle, each one fitting into the other. The next theory will take this theory one step further. One of the biggest advantages, my dear friends, is it will make you an excellent manager. Excellent manager, I can tell you this much. You will be able to drive change, you will be able to drive engagement, you will be able to drive results in your organization, in your family, and in the society that you are in. Use this theory to understand what's happening in the world of trade tariff today. You will find some extraordinary insights. Maybe, in the group, we can have a discussion on that. I have one last request. Will you all keep it? No response. He says, don't request anything. Only
Feedback.
Yes, sir.
Feedback.
Please tell me, sir.
That's
Feedback.
I love it. Give, don't take anything. Okay, since you people have allowed me, I will ask 2 requests. I am also
sir.
greedy. Number 1, each one of you should participate in the group with the case studies. Read the case study properly. Read the case study properly. Think over it. Don't jump at the first thing that comes in the mind. Remember one thing, we are slaves of our conditioning. And the more you can break your conditioned mind to listen to you, the more successful, happy, satisfied, and peaceful you will be. So whenever you read a case study, pause, reflect, go back, take a step back, read it properly, understand it, break the conditioning that you are working through, and try to reply it. Why reply? Because one thing is, no one wants to look like a joker, correct? Everyone wants to be appreciated. Everyone wants everyone to say, wow, what a answer. Yes, Yogesh, boliye.
So in our group and other groups, when we discuss that, there is a case of micromanagement, whereas the case was wholly about understanding the 4 conditions of stimulus removal or stimulus addition for positive or negative reinforcement. Probably that micromanagement issue might not have come or should not have come at all.
It is not micromanagement. The person has recently joined. He has certain inaccuracies and inefficiencies in him. So his boss was naturally concerned that those things should be overcome and he should be corrected. Right? Now, there is no micromanagement for the simple reason, if there was micromanagement, the supervision would not have been limited to only in the morning, checking earlier days full work. Second thing is, then at the end of that period, the relaxation from daily to 1 week would not have happened. So what is the problem is, you see, we don't read the whole thing properly. Everything has a particular inference. That's why I said, we know that one of the major disadvantages of workplace is what? Micromanagement. Bosses micromanage. That's what everyone complains. Correct or not, Yogesh? Huh? You unmute, please.
Yes, sir.
So you see, since that is there, what happens? We try. See, it's very simple. You have 4 pegs and 4 holes. So you immediately assume that these 4 pegs have to go into the 4 holes, even if they don't fit into it, and then you start shoving it. Why? If the 4 pegs don't go into the 4 holes, put it next to the holes and sit tight. There is no compulsion that the peg is there, a hole is there, you have to shove it into it. So you see, read the thing properly and reply. What will be the advantage of it? You don't want to look a fool. So what will you do? You will try to understand it. There are so many methods today of, curating information and knowledge. Go to it.
No, it so happens that in a group when
you forget
I
the group
developed
now.
an
Just think
opinion.
about yourself. You forget the group.
No,
You have to
that
reply
is what
to
I am
the
trying
case.
to say. So when you first read and you come up to some understanding, then somebody else says, and then you feel that yes, that is also a possibility.
Then
And then you
reply on
modify
that.
your.
Then reply on that, modify on that. So you see, the whole idea of a conversation in a group is what? Not that everyone has to post an independent view. You can comment on somebody else's view also. You can modify somebody else's view. You can critique it. So many things you can do. The whole idea is to take it forward so that there is learning between all of us.
So the learning right now is micromanagement is not the case as of now. Immediate learning.
Okay, good. So
we were trying to find out what is negative in each of that, which is not the purpose. The purpose is to find out how the different stimulus and how positive and negative reinforcement.
Remember one thing, Yogesh ji. Intention follows energy. Or energy follows intention. You want to see the fault in something, you will only see that.
Yes.
You will only search for it. Okay, now this is the first one. Please participate. Don't make me again and again remind that the XYZ has not done that. Second thing is, the only way you can go and review everything that we have spoken today is when you give a feedback on this session. Whether you seriously liked it or not, please give me your 5-point feedback in the group. This will make you understand what it is that we have spoken. It will also help other members of the group see what is happening here through your words, and will bring them to these programs. These are free programs, so there is no problem in it. They can come, they can learn, enrich their life, and in the process, make the group more vibrant. Consider this as your payment to me for today's program. Please do post your feedback. When people, you can take a screenshot of this. When people don't post a feedback, it only means that either they don't think they have benefited anything, or that they have come here just to pass time, not to benefit anything from it. Because if you don't even have the patience to write a feedback, how are you going to have the patience to implement what you are learning? Ask this question to yourself. See, the moment the question of feedback came, already 4 people have dropped out. That speaks volumes of the seriousness with which people approach their life, and then they complain they don't get anything from life. Then they complain they don't get anything from life, as though, life is indebted to them to make them successful. Any questions? You can ask me. Mr. Suresh Ramaratnam will be conducting the next class in another week's time. And then I will be taking the next main session on motivation theory in maybe about a fortnight's time. Because from tomorrow, that is from 7th to 12th, I am very busy. I've got some other classes here.
Thank you, sir.
I am conducting for some MBA students. Yeah. Suresh, next week, will it be possible for you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir.
Yeah, I'll send you the deck and all the matter. Please deliver it, and then we can, like that, we will take it forward so that because if there is 15 days gap, people will lose their interest, and the connectivity will lose. Suri sir, thank you for coming. This gentleman is a director from DRDO, and I've been trying to motivate him where I failed miserably to give a program on our platform on his experiences with, you know what? Should I tell the name of the product that you are experienced with? BrahMos.
BrahMos.
Beyond BrahMos. This is beyond BrahMos. It's the submarine launched ballistic missiles.
Just imagine. So you see where we are and where he is, and he is not taking the classes for us.
My apologies, sir. I'll definitely do that.
We had been to Sabarimala together. Suresh and others, when Suresh had a heart attack. And then, Yogesh was there. Suri sir was, amazing, the way he helped us. And one of the reasons why Suresh is sitting here talking to all of us is Suri sir's initiative. A defense person is, after all, a defense person. He defended not just the country, he defended Suresh also that day. And the doctor was so impressed with him that, in fact, he was the only person who was allowed inside the ICU. Great Suri sir. He's been out of circulation for some time. Now back in circulation.
Yes. I was deep dive. Now I am on surface. So definitely, I'll be.
But don't go deep dive again, please.
Okay. Okay.
Then any questions, friends?
Suri sir looks very young.
Me?
Against the Sabarimala days.
I sincerely hope he continues to look like that. What with the situation in our surrounding countries, we require young officers, even when retired.
Yes, correct.
And with his cap and other things, he looked very different and highly patriotic.
Yeah.
Very expressive and very clear on what should be done. I still remember the feedback later I got it from our Arun sir of how you interacted with the doctor and made all the difference.
I'm telling you, Suresh, it was Suri sir who literally saved your life.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sure of that. No jokes, because even the doctor there were panicky at one stage. When your eyes started going up and everything started collapsing and everything stopped, the what do you call it, the flat line. It was Suri sir, who gave them the courage to try out the things, and then it worked out. And then by that time, and then we spoke to the person, the ambulance, and then anyway, God's great. We had a very tricky experience last year. Anyway, we are again going this year, and we have decided not to take Suresh with us. Am I right, Suresh? Suresh telephoned to me. He said, why my name is not there? I said, I will come all the way to Trichy and boot you if you talk. Even though he keeps telling me, sir, I said, nothing doing. You are not coming with us that much. Not even 1 year over after his bypass and other things, and now he wants to do these things.
If some helipad service is there, we can take him by helicopter.
And then again, you will fall on top of him in the ambulance, and the doctor will have to answer. Yogesh traveled with Suresh in the ambulance, and in one of those jerks, Yogesh fell on top of Suresh. He is already somebody is knocking at his life. Yogesh fell on top of him. The doctor is telling me, "Kaise aadmi ko chala diye saab?" You remember Suri said that incident?
Yes, I remember very well.
Yeah.
In fact,
I was literally shouting, "Sir, get up! Sir, get up!"
What is in fact, friends, Yogesh is a tremendously healthy person. And I think, Suresh would have been smashed to pieces.
Morbid obesity.
Right.
So not
okay,
a
friends.
Person.
I think it's all quite late. You will all be waiting to get back to your dinner table or bedtime. Thank you. Please post your please post your feedbacks. Take some time. There's an opportunity for you to also curse me if you want, which I'm sure Suresh will today. It's okay. I'll take it. Okay, guys. Good night.
Good night.
See you soon.
Sir. Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, 14th is the date.
Good night.
By the way, for all those exclusive premium strategy group members who are here, 14th is the date for the next 6-part, Blue Ocean strategy class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll send you the details. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sir. Good night.